Okay, my good friends, it's Roger, Mudfossil University, today talking about dark energy, dark matter. Well, what is it? This is NASA Goddard, and I would say go up here and comment on this because I think I have something to say and it's not being heard. Now, scientists have discovered a mysterious pressure dubbed dark energy. A pressure, they're pushing against a pressure, makes up about 68% of the total energy content of the cosmos pushing through this pressure. But so far, we don't know much more about it. Exploring the nature of dark energy is one of the primary reasons NASA is building the wide field infrared, all these kind of things. It goes on and on. They have no clue about dark energy, so they're going to do all kinds of things. Well, I say this, and I'm going to show you my information about it, but I say that light has mass. Light has mass. It's coming from the sun to us. I mean, it's insanity to think there's nothing there. And it travels through space. It is the dark matter and has the energy when it impacts with other complete molecules, because in space it's literally just a little bitty piece of something and it stays away from all of its neighbors because there's enough room. But once it starts impacting with things, it glows. This is as obvious as that. Now, physics is unworkable with the Bohr model. Absolutely unworkable. You cannot resolve isotopes, even hydrogen. It's impossible. Big, huge positive pulling a little tiny negative, and then they make up all kind of spooky entangled this and that to stop reality. All right, electron flood theory claims there's only two particles. There's a plus particle and a minus particle, an electron and a positron. They don't annihilate each other. They attach to each other like two-bar magnets. And they're both approximately that 0.0005545 atomic mass units, have opposite equal charges. They add together to make protons and neutrons. And there are 1,836 of these little bits, 918 and 918, positive and negative, in a proton. A neutron has only one more negative, so it's 918 and 919. So the strong force is simply the solid magnetism of those little bits and pieces stuck together, solidly. And then you end up with one extra when you have a neutron, and that's the weak force. No, it's because it associates it. And it counts for every single material in the universe. And you can make your isotopes no problem. Resonance is a resonance quantity, which means the number of particles has to hit a certain chunk, and then it's just stable. Otherwise, things are flying off in all kind of different directions. Now, I can prove, well, I can't prove what I'm saying, but I can show you pretty good evidence. Okay, I just want you to see this. This is what CERN works in, and the Cherenkov radiation, both, because that's just too fast for the field that it's smashing into. And we are working with electrons, they're working with bigger particles. Okay, there's CERN. They're using heavy particles, smashing them head on. They have thousands, I believe about 8,000 particles compared to our 1 or 2. And the same fields, though, and the same little boxy particles. Now, let me show you ours. I'm just going to do this quick. I've done this. I must have 50 videos on this. Now, that's the pulse red laser. It's coming through. There's only a tiny little piece in here, and that's the wake. Here it is being accelerated. That's the particle in there. It's crushing itself through a venturi, which is a restriction that forces them to compress and crash exactly like CERN, only we're going this way, and they're going this way, head on. Now, that's the Higgs fields, that's the Cherenkov, that's the boson, spinning particle, charge carrier that carries the field. That's a field, and that's a little white particle came through in here. You don't see it here, but it came through white and crashed into this field, making that little field. These are the particles you actually see as they slow down. This is the boson phase, expanded down here, contracted up here, spinning to the right, drifting to the left. Here, I'll go into all of them a little closer. There's the pulsed red laser. And all of this stuff is concussed particles that are in the air. The same particles that collect on you, they're called static electricity. It's ether. It's all in the air. And as that thing comes through, and we go into the accelerator, you can see the particle begin to display. As it builds up on itself, it creates plasma. As it creates the plasma going through there, it actually charge separates. This is completely white, and then the black comes back. I can't explain it. And then these are the spray of the particles trying to get away from each other. This is Higgs fields. That's where it comes through the accelerator towards us. And these particle spits are they're going too fast to interact until they slow down enough till they crash into the ether. And this one here, I can't explain that, but that's a little tiny particle, and then it reestablishes itself as a regular particle, which is extremely interesting to me because for other reasons, but that's for another day. Now, these are the actual particles that we see. That's a back-to-back dipole, as far as I'm concerned, or a torus of moving energy. But to me, I'm going with back-to-back dipoles. And this is the spinning particle as it spins and twists to the right, drifts to the left, and gets slower. And it's pretty obvious. And because this one is coming through the center of the Venturi, it's more highly accelerated, and that one is, and then they start to drift off. That's what creates your interference patterns. They're separations. They want to push away from each other. That's why they're trying to get away. That one's getting way away because this one's pushing it. I can't be sure, but these may even be the entangled fields that spin around this particle. In other words, these are behind it, coming in front of it like this, around that, because that's what a Higgs field is. It's a charged particle carrying fields, and it's pulsing this field. That's a right spinner. That's pushing this one away right now. It's going to push this one away. It's going to push the next one away, push the next one away, all the way around itself, and it's going to follow that particle, and it's going to end up looking just like it does up here. You see that? That's what it would look like right on the top of that. See, that's the spinning particle. That could very well be what we're seeing. Can't say for sure. All right, I guess I'll leave it at that. This, you can see, it's being accelerated. That's the particle. They are particles. Light can accelerate. Light is particles. Ether is all these little tiny dots that you see. Those dots are being concussed by this reverse EMF wave. You see it? Bam, 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 and it's coming back because that's a bomb going off over here. These are reverse EMFs. Now, that's the particle, so we have a light accelerating. We know now that light is a particle. We see that it can create plasma. It can charge separate. That's darkness. And it's white, and that I can't explain. But if it can charge separate and it come back together, that means you should be able to create fusion using this passive accelerator crusher. Now this is the cool part. I mean, it seems to be charge separated. I can see blackness coming in here, and that is nothing but whiteness. Now what does that mean? Were these, I don't know what it means, but I can tell you one thing. If you can create passive plasma, you should be able to create fusion. And if you create fusion, what's coming out of here is going to recombine and step down and just dump a whole extra bunch of heat out of there, which is nothing more than electrons. In my world, these are particles. Every one of these is a zillion little particles. And they will come back together as a zillion little particles of helium, and then there'll still be a zillion little particles left over that we'll use for whatever we want to use it for, electricity. Okay, to create fusion, you have to charge separate. You have to split these things into their subatomic individual components, and then they come back together. That's plasma. This is plasma. It's created by two cylindrical drums, and you shoot the light through it, and it's forcing them to concuss into each other's regions. They become entangled, basically. When they come out, I can see they're charge separated. If you can do that with heavy particles, you can create fusion. If you can create fusion, you can create literally free inexhaustible energy. And if you create free inexhaustible energy, you don't have to use gas and oil. I'll leave it there.